Welcome back to Journey to Joy Live. I'm Dr. Enjoy, your host. And I have to say, it's a little lonely right now because I've had a guest on my show literally the last few weeks. But it is nice to be back home behind my beautiful microphone. I love it. A few weeks ago, you saw me on Journey to Joy Live from the beach in the Dominican Republic, and then with my friend Jessica Taylor, and then after that with my friend Nellie, and then last week we were in Times Square with a couple of my child psychiatrist friends. So that was really fun. And just pretty much talking about joy. How can we find joy? Can we choose joy? Is joy an emotion? What's our journey to joy? What's your journey to joy? So just pretty much bringing it back to joy. How can we care for ourselves? How can we prioritize well-being, prioritize our self-care? So now that we know that, based on our conversation last week, that joy is a choice and an emotion, right? I mean, you choose to enter into that journey towards joy, and then eventually you feel that joy, and it feels good. It's feeling happiness, but also feeling something else deeper. Kind of like how on the opposite end, depression isn't just sadness. Depression is sadness and a loss of interest and hopelessness and some issues with eating and sleeping and not able to concentrate and other things, right? So depression encompasses the emotion of sadness. Same with joy. On the opposite end, joy encompasses happiness, but also other things, a sense of fulfillment, self-care, wellness, well-being, being mentally healthy. So it's important for us to take care of ourselves and choose joy. That's what all of this is about. That's why I started this. Speaking of starting this, I'm not only, of course, on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, I am officially on Spotify. So you can find my podcast, the audio version, if it feels better for you to just listen to my voice and listen to what I have to say, and you already have an account on Spotify or you want to check me out on Spotify, you can do that. So right now you can actually listen to the first 9 of Journey to Joys over there on Spotify, but I'll be uploading the rest accordingly and just uploading each one that I do weekly. So the Journey to Joy is every week live at 7 p.m. I hope to have people come and talk and listen and comment and ask questions. That's really the idea here. Free advice. As we're talking about overcoming the obstacles of joy. Now that we know that we should choose joy, now that we know that joy is something that we should try to obtain, what are some obstacles to joy? What are some obstacles to, we just can't sometimes experience it, right? There's some things in the way. What are those things and how can we overcome those things? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Because we all experience it, even I experience it. I'd like to think that since I'm a psychiatrist and my name is Enjoy, that I don't have issues with experiencing joy. I'd like to think that, but that's not true. I do have issues with experiencing joy too, because I'll always like to be transparent and forthcoming. Just so you know, I'm not perfect, and I am a human too. We all experience these issues as well. But some common challenges that hinder us from experiencing joy: stress. Stress. I mean, pretty much stress is at the top of that triangle. It's like a lot of things that you can name fall under stress. A lot of things that hinder our joy cause stress, whether it's physical stress in our bodies or mental stress. After that, that stress leads to negativity, self-doubt, whatever external pressures that there might be, or internal pressures within inside us, internal pressures of our mind, our thoughts, negative thoughts. A lot of those head back to stress. Sometimes stress can be a good thing. Our bodies are made to feel stress so that we can do the things that we need to do. If you think about our nervous system, or if you think about, like, if a bear was about to come and you see a bear, your heart starts beating really fast, your stress levels go up. So your flight or fight system kicks in, right? Flight or fight. so that you either run away from that bear or you fight the bear. So we have a lot that builds up in our system that tells us we got to do something about that. So that's good stress. If a bear came, you probably want to be able to run away real fast all of a sudden because of a lot of adrenaline, or you want to be able to beat that bear up. Probably should choose flight. Or you always hear about the mom who, I'm sure a lot of us have heard about it, but the mom who gets this unimaginable strength, lifts up the car off of her baby. Why is there a car on her baby? That is stressful thinking about that. But you get this unimaginable strength all of a sudden. That's good stress. We probably need that. But when the stress becomes a problem, it's because our body kicks into that flight or fight mode when we don't need it. Let's say there's a test coming up and you get into a panic attack. That's when it becomes a disorder, that stress. So in general, I'm talking about overcoming stress today. How can we do that? So in getting into more of the challenges, what hinders us to experiencing joy? Mental health issues, right? If you have depression, if you have anxiety, that can hinder your joy in general. And therefore, there's a lot of strategies that you can do to help with your depression and your anxiety or your other mental illness. If it's bipolar or schizophrenia or post-traumatic stress disorder, there's things that you can do. But most of the time, seeking help, therapy, a psychiatrist will help you be able to find joy, whether that's through the therapeutic strategies or through exercise or diet, or if you need a medication. But definitely, the stress of a mental disorder can impede on your ability to experience joy, physical health, physical problems, physical illness, chronic pain, physical discomfort. Those are obviously things that can make it difficult for you to find joy in your day. So there are strategies that I'm going to get to that even despite physical illness, you can still find joy. I was just talking to someone the other day who, has physical illness. Some people, they can't even move their limbs, but there's still ways that they can find joy too. Financial stress, woo-wee, that can steal joy. That can definitely steal joy. Whatever economic challenges you have, debt, financial instability, financial stress can definitely lead to stress, anxiety, making it harder for you to experience joy. So that's obviously another obstacle to joy. Conflict in relationships. I think we all have experienced that, whether it's with a spouse or with a child. Parenting stress, that leads to that, or with a boss or a coworker, a colleague, a friend, any type of relationship. If there's a conflict, difficulties in personal relationships, professional relationships, whether that's a family conflict or in your workplace, that can definitely cause emotional stress and lead to difficulty experiencing joy. We're entering into the holidays. A lot of people talk about stress around the holidays because they're around more family that they're usually not around, which causes stress and makes it difficult to find joy. Grief and loss. That's a huge stressor. Losing a loved one, losing a friend, someone significant in your life, or just a loss like divorce or a loss like a breakup or a loss of a job, whatever significant life change that you might have, that can lead to grief and mourning. It doesn't have to be that you lost a person, but these things, these stressors, these losses can overshadow your joy. Workload and burnout can lead to compassion fatigue. Burnout hinders your joy. Whatever, having more workload, not being able to delegate tasks, job-related stress in general leaves little room for joy. Negative thoughts, I was saying, there can be external pressures, but internal pressures coming from us. Negative thoughts, pervasive thought patterns, self-criticism, thinking bad about yourself, being pessimistic, that can cloud your ability to experience joy. I mean, if you think happiness, if you think joy and you decide to choose joy and decide to give yourself positive affirmations on a day-to-day basis, an hourly basis, whenever you need it, that helps you experience joy. But those negative thoughts, like I said before, they work. It will cause you to feel bad. Positive thoughts work too. They will cause you to feel good. Lack of self-care. Talked about self-care a few weeks ago. It's definitely important to prioritize yourself. when you can, but not neglecting it, period. There's some things that do have to go before your self-care, of course. You have to go to work. You can't just not go to work just so you can have a massage day or whatever that self-care strategy is. Some things you do have to prioritize over that. But if there's a daily practice that you incorporate each day, whether it's at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, that can be helpful. Proper nutrition, that's a self-care practice. Exercise, relaxation, that can lead to physical and emotional challenges that hinder joy when you do not have it, when you aren't practicing it and you have a lack of self-care. Isolation, some people feel lonely or isolated, which definitely lead to feelings of sadness that hinder someone's ability to experience joy. Trauma, that stress. Experiencing trauma, unsolved issues from past experiences can affect one's emotional well-being and joy. And that leads back to definitely needing to go to therapy to process that trauma, because if you don't, it will just continue to overshadow what your present is, and that you're living in the past, given that you didn't process that trauma. It's definitely difficult in the beginning when you first talk about that trauma, because it's just going to bring up all the emotions that you felt back then and that you continue to feel. But the more you talk about the trauma, the more you process it, the better you feel. It's true. Uncertainty and fear can be a hindrance to our experiencing joy, as a sense of just uncertainty about the future. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the basic needs of a human. Uncertainty and certainty was a basic need. Sometimes there is a sense of uncertainty, which is good for growth. Like, if you plan every single part of your day, every single day, that definitely can lead to some anxiety with no room for flexibility, no room for spontaneity, because it is important to have some sense of uncertainty. There are some people that needs everything. They need to be certain about everything, but I'm telling you that there's importance to some sense of uncertainty. But if you're the type where you need 100% uncertainty, or you need more of the certainty than uncertainty, then that causes anxiety if you have a lot of uncertainty. If you're a person who needs more uncertainty than certainty, causes you a lot of anxiety when you have too much planned out and no wiggle room to be free and flexible to do whatever. An example I can think of is vacation. I know I love the uncertainty of what I'm going to do on vacation. I don't like to plan everything that I'm going to do ahead of time. So we don't plan a lot when we go on vacation. But I know some people, they need to plan their whole trip. But in general, lastly, external stressors like environmental factors, natural disasters, social or political issues or stressors that can be a hindrance to us experiencing joy. Global crises, we all know, going through the pandemic, that was definitely an environmental factor that caused a lot of stress and difficulty for everyone experiencing joy, or for most people. I shouldn't say everyone. Maybe some people continue to have joy during that phase of our lives. But so just thinking about the obstacles, they can be a lot. External stressors, internal stressors, relationships, finances, physical problems, medical issues. A lot of that leads to obstacles. But just because you're experiencing these stresses doesn't mean you can't find joy. So I'm here today to talk about how you can find joy. What are some practices? I mean, it's really what all we've been talking about these last several weeks: self-care and well-being. That can help you find joy, getting treatment. But let me go through some specific ones. So mindfulness, gratitude, self-compassion. Sometimes just being grateful for what you do have. Sometimes I have to sit back and think, okay, don't have this thing that I want or need, but what do I have? I have a lot. I have my family, I have my career. Speaking of family, I have a whole village that helps me take care of my boys. So I have to remember, what do I have? Even though there's some things that I might need or some stretches that I may have. So just reminding yourself of that. And that's why journaling is a good technique, because when you are feeling good, it's good to write down what you're grateful of, so that when, because it's going to happen, something happens that overwhelms you or you get stressed out, you can continue to think about and read, oh yeah, I did read this. I wrote this earlier. Yeah, have that, to remind yourself. Because when you are stressed out, your body goes into that flight or fight mode and your judgment is clouded. You're not thinking about how great life is. You're thinking about how it's not so great. So having that reminder, keeping a journal and being able to remind yourself of how great life is and having that gratitude, that's great. For those who believe in God, believe in a higher power, praising God and just being grateful. And we're in November now. It's Thanksgiving. So let's think about what we're grateful for. So practicing gratitude, reflecting on and appreciating the positive aspects of your life. Keep a gratitude journal. Why not? Things that you're thankful for. So with the mindfulness and meditation could be whatever. There's a lot of meditation videos on YouTube. There's some that with a soft voice, close your eyes, take deep breaths. And then there's some that is just like, I want to say, because they have like swearing words and they just say like, you better do this. And they like yell at you. Some people are motivated by that. I feel like that'll get my stress level up. But if I'm preparing for a run, those kind of videos are kind of like cool because I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go running now. I'm 10 miler. I'm gonna do this. But then a lot of us need that soft, soothing voice when it comes to the meditation videos. But there's a lot on YouTube. There's apps like Headspace, Calm. There's one, Stop, Think, and Breathe. There's a lot out there. That's just 3, but there's so many. Mindfulness can come in where you're doing techniques to help you remain present and not get so clouded by everything that's in your head. Like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. But just stopping and thinking. So, of course, meditation can help with mindfulness, but mindfulness can come about by doing certain grounding techniques. Again, YouTube, there's plenty of videos that can help with grounding techniques. Sitting and having your eyes closed and just kind of thinking about where your body is, where your feet planted on the ground, picturing yourself in the beach, those kinds of mindfulness videos, grounding techniques, thinking through your feet and going up to your body, like picture your legs, picture where your hands are, different things like that. And then there's progressive muscle relaxation, where you go through the different muscle groups, tensing up your muscles and then relaxing. And there's different ways that videos explain that. So that helps with mindfulness and just remaining present. There's books on being present. Sometimes I have to remind myself, okay, I'm thinking about this thing tomorrow. I'm thinking about that thing yesterday. Let me just be present. Or if you're out and about and you are just taking a bunch of pictures, getting stressed out, like, oh, I have to post this. What? No, just be present in the moment. My trip to DR, it was literally the first time I turned off every notification. Most text messages I wasn't responding to. I didn't care about posting. I took pictures, of course, but no emails, no nothing. I just checked out, and that was so amazing to be able to do. I was present. Physical activity. So stress, the fight or flight system, anxiety, that gets your heart going. It gets all your blood pressure up. So exercising helps you release endorphins to be able to boost your mood and happiness. At the end of the day, it's healthy for your heart, for your brain, your physical health. If you need to lose weight, it helps with that. But whenever I suggest exercise or physical activity to my patients, I'm talking about because I want it to help their mentality, to help with depression, to help with anxiety. I remember a breakup several years ago. I was like so stressed out. I ran 12 miles on a treadmill. I could never do that. But that's how much that buildup of anxiety. So if you are anxious about a loss or about anything, exercise and do it daily. Why not? Especially if you've gotten your sleep, it could even help your sleep. Healthy eating, balanced diet, that can definitely influence your mood. If you're eating too many sugars, processed food, caffeine, I would say avoid that. Clean eating helps. Balanced eating, incorporating vegetables. I eat my vegetables through smoothies if I don't have vegetables at home. And I know for me, planning out eating is very hard. So I do HelloFresh. Yes, that's a plug for HelloFresh. I do that. And that helps with a balanced meal because they're very balanced. Adequate sleep, ensuring good quality sleep, because obviously sleep deprivation can lead to mood disturbances and hinder your joy. Staying connected, social support. We're all social creatures. That was another basic need we talked about a few weeks ago. That obviously gets rid of that isolated lost feeling, or not lost, isolated loneliness feeling. So trying your best to stay connected. Sometimes anxiety gets in a way of being connected with someone else, but that's where therapy can help. Therapy can help you get that exposure, because really at the end of the day, exposure is what helps with social anxiety. Gradually getting to the point where, whether it's like you start out with picking up the phone and calling somebody, then going out and doing this, or, you go up the ladder of exposure, and it can help uplift you to spend time with people. Engaging in hobbies. What were your old hobbies? What are your current hobbies? What are hobbies you don't engage in anymore? That can definitely help. If you're doing something you're passionate about, it makes you feel like a sense of purpose. If you don't feel a sense of purpose on your job, but you feel like you have to stay there because it's making money, you can still do things through hobbies and enjoy a sense of well-being and a sense of purpose as well. I mean, there are chances for other jobs too. That's a whole nother thing. My point is that hobbies can help. So if you really, really like photography, but you're like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a surgeon, do photography too. Acts of kindness can be helpful to increase our joy. Just small little acts of kindness, doing something for others, volunteering. Again, it's holiday season. Usually a lot of people like to do service to others around the holiday. That can be helpful. It leads to a sense of fulfillment and happiness to help others. Again, positive self-talk. Challenge negative self-talk. If you say something like, I'm stupid, erase that and say, you know what? No, I didn't mean that. I'm not stupid. I just need to learn to do this better. I am smart. I can do this. That makes you feel so much better than saying I'm stupid. Replace it with a positive affirmation and self-compassion. Setting goals. Oh my goodness. For some reason, I have a lot of presentations to do this month in different aspects of my life. And well, it's 5 presentations. And in my head, I was just like, oh my God, I have to prepare for all 5 of these presentations. This is a lot. And I was feeling overwhelmed. So then I decided, let me write down, okay, this one's due here, this one's due here, this one's here. I realized 2 of the presentations are already done. I already did it. They're ones that I've already done a couple years ago, and I'm repeating it. And then the other 2 are the same presentation. So wait, I can use this presentation for this talk? Wait a minute, what? So basically the 5 I was able to reduce down to 2. And then I'm setting the goal that I'll working on it this time for this amount of time, and I'll working on it. We have to set goals. If it just stays jumbled in your head and you don't write it down in a list and prioritize it, it won't happen. I used to use a journal. Of course, I don't remember the name of it because I'm putting myself on the spot, but I used to use a journal that actually helped you write down what was urgent, what was needed to happen immediately. It was like a dream journal, and it helped you realize your different aspects of your life: relationships, finances, financial goals, relationship goals, school goals, career goals, whatever. So break that up into different goals, different types of goals. Like, okay, this is how I'm going to do my finances. This is how I'm going to take care of my physical health. That's a goal. Fitness goals, whatever. List them all out. It will help, and it will reduce your anxiety. One of the doctors I was talking to last week, I think it was Dr. Barry, she mentioned nature, being in natural settings helps her with joy. And that's the next one on my list here, embracing nature. I have another friend who says that too. She likes nature, being outside, spending time in natural settings, parks, nature reserves, boosts your mind and reduces your stress. Seasonal affective disorder, that exists because it starts to get dark. It starts to get dark earlier. It gets light later in the day. We're losing that sun. So therefore, that wanes in on our emotions. The vitamin D that we get with sun is just it's reduced. So seasonal affective disorder happens around the winter months. It's basically a seasonal depression. And you're staying indoors because it's so cold. So that is why embracing nature and trying to get outside can be very helpful. There is light therapy that helps for people who really can't get that sun. There's light therapy. You can get the lights on Amazon, actually. Limiting exposure to negative content. So, like watching negative things on media. I don't watch the news. I mean, I probably shouldn't tell y'all not to watch the news, but like I said, I have to protect my mind. Speaking of my laughter, practicing laughter, incorporating humor into your life, watching comedies. I watched The Office. I'm pretty sure I watched the series of The Office 5 times. I love watching that. Developing a growth mindset. Just, I'm going to grow. I'm focusing on learning and focusing on resilience and being able to bounce back when things knock you down. We fall down, but we get back up again. I love that song. Setting boundaries and saying no. I know I've said that a lot here on Journey to Joy Live. Prioritizing your own well-being and happiness. Sometimes you just have to learn how to say no, because when you say yes too much and you have too much on your plate, that hinders your joy. And engaging in creative activities, art, music, writing. I saw the MJ musical last week. Oh, it was so amazing. Reflection, self-discovery, that goes back to our goal setting, thinking about your values. What's your passion? What do you want to make sure you do in life? It's okay, whatever you've done or didn't do already, but we still have a whole future ahead of us. So reflecting and self-discovery can help you find your joy and can help you overcome those obstacles to joy. And just simply just being a kid at heart, enjoying it with play, especially if you have kids. If you don't have kids, embracing a childlike sense of play and experiencing the simple activities and the fun of things just because, that can be very fulfilling. So that's my list of practical strategies to cultivate joy. Which one are you going to do? Which one do you already do? What's helpful to you? I hope this was helpful. Thank you for listening to Journey to Joy Live. Follow me on Facebook, Enjoy Life. Follow me on Instagram at dr.enjoy.life. YouTube at Dr. Enjoy Life MD. And like I said, I am on Spotify. Thank you, everyone.